What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Bonsai-U. This time around we're going to be talking about bonsai tools. All right, we're going to be talking about bonsai tools, what you should have in your toolkit when you're getting ready to work on your trees, and how some of those tools can be utilized in working on your bonsai. Now, before we get started, I want to mention that the brand of tool that we're going to be talking about today is KIKUWA brand tools. These are tools that are made specifically for bonsai, produced, manufactured in Japan, so they're great quality tools. As a matter of fact, I used this tool brand all through my apprenticeship at KOKAN Nursery in Japan, fell in love with them there, and wanted to have these in our online shop here when we started Eisei-en. So if any of these tools interest you and you want to purchase them for your collection to use on your trees, you can click on the link in the description down below. It'll take you over to my website and you can purchase some of our toolkits or individual tools there. So the first thing we're going to be talking about here is our basic bonsai toolkit. These are 4 simple tools that I think everybody should have in their collection when you're working on your bonsai. So first things first, we're going to be talking about our snub nose wire cutters here. Now the great thing about the snub nose wire cutters is as you're applying wire or even as you're removing wire from a branch, if you want to snip that wire off or cut it off at the very end, you can butt these snub nose wire cutters right up against the branch, cut that wire without the risk of cutting the branch itself. So fantastic tool for that. The joint is also great here, and you can actually use these as a branch cutter as well, although I don't necessarily recommend you do that on a regular basis because it can dull these over time. But if you're in a pinch, say you're doing a demonstration like me when I'm on the road, this is my go-to tool. I use it for, again, cutting wire and cutting branches, pruning everything on the tree. Makes life a lot easier rather than having to switch back and forth between various tools to get the same job done. So definitely something you need to have in your arsenal. Second tool here is going to be your gin pliers. Now these actually meet at a point here at the very end, so they're good for not only creating gin, which is deadwood or deadwood branches on a bonsai, but they're also great for pulling guy wires because the end comes to a point here. You can grab a very fine wire, pull and twist very easily. The handles are also very ergonomic, so it makes it easy to twist in one hand without having to switch back and forth with 2. So another great tool to have in your arsenal. Next thing here would be our pruning shears. Now I like these pruning shears in particular because they're a little bit thicker through here. The joint is very, very strong, and the end out here, the actual shears themselves, are also very thick. So you can cut larger branches as well as thinner branches because this is quite long here. So you can reach deep into a tree, cut thick branches off. You can do shoot pruning on the end of, say, your maples, for example, in the spring. Great tool for that. And again, the joint here is very strong, so they last a long time. The next tool here is going to be your concave cutters. Now if you look at the end here, they're a little bit concave, which is why they're called concave cutters. So say for example you're working with a trident maple or a deciduous tree and you want to cut off a large branch on that plant, you can butt these right up against the trunk, cut that branch off. It'll cut slightly concave into the trunk, which will allow for smoother healing over time. So again, this is a great tool to have. You can also cut off branch ends with this. They're a very sharp tool, so if you really wanted to, you could cut shoots with this as well, but typically we use this for slightly larger branches on trees. On our website, we also offer the next level bonsai toolkit, which is our basic kit plus 2 extra tools. So what those 2 extra tools are, first and foremost, we've got our knob cutters here. Now the knob cutters are somewhat similar to the concave cutters that we just talked about here. However, the cutting surface at the end is much more rounded. So if you need to cut deeper into the tissue of a tree, say for example, it's like a trident maple that has very thick healing tissue, you want to go very deep into the trunk, for example, when you're removing a large branch, so that tissue then heals flat or flush and you have a much less noticeable wound. So these knob cutters are perfect for that type of cut. The final tool that we have in our next level kit here is the root splitter here, or the branch splitter. So you can use these for cutting large roots when repotting, or what I typically use these for is actually splitting branches to make them more pliable for bending. So for example, if I'm working on a juniper that has, say, a live vein running down a deadwood branch and I want to be able to bend that, well of course that deadwood's not going to be manipulatable at all. So I have to remove that deadwood or at least separate it from the live vein. This is the tool that I use to do that. So I'll take this tool, go down the length of that branch, remove or separate that deadwood. That live vein then becomes quite pliable. We can then apply raffia, wire to it, and bend bend it. So this is a great tool for that. This is also great if you want to remove, say, a portion of the diameter of a branch. So for example, if you're working with a juniper and the branch is not pliable at all, we can actually take a certain portion of the live tissue off of that branch down the length of that branch, make it more pliable and bend it, and this is the tool that we use to do that. So again, great tool to have in your arsenal. All right, now this brings us to the final set of tools that I want to talk about in this episode of Bonsai-U, and that is a basic set of carving tools. Now what we offer on our online shop are these BEFF tools. These are handmade in Czech Republic. We buy them directly from the manufacturer and bring them into the States and sell them on our website. Beautiful thing about these guys is that you can actually use them as scraping tools to remove bark. Say for example, you're working with a juniper, you want to create new deadwood or new shari on the trunk, or it already has old deadwood on it, but you want to clean that deadwood up and really delineate the live vein from the deadwood. These are great tools for that. Cool thing about these BEFF tools too is that they come in various sizes. So if you need to get into small nooks and crannies on the tree, there are sizes here that will allow you to do that. Or if you have larger surfaces that you need to clean very quickly, the larger tools here will do quite well. So these come in a pack of 4 with 4 different sizes in these very cool leather kit bags right here, so you can keep track of them very easily, and they stay sharp for a very long time. It is possible to resharpen them, and that's a little bit difficult. Maybe we'll cover that in a future episode of Bonsai-U, how to sharpen all of your tools. But for right now, that's going to cover the tools that I wanted to discuss in this episode. In a future episode of Bonsai-U, we'll talk about some of the additional specialty tools that I use on my trees here and what we have available on our online shop as well. But for right now, these basic toolkits, our basic kit and the next level kit, as well as these simple carving tools, are really what I recommend that you have in your toolkit at home to work on your bonsai. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Bonsai-U. If you like what we do here, make sure to like and subscribe, and of course share this video. That helps us out. And if you really want to help us out going forward, you can make a monetary donation by clicking on the link in the description down below. It'll bounce you over to my website, and you can donate whatever you feel like in supporting Bonsai-U going forward. Once again, thank you so much for checking out this episode, and we'll see you guys next time around. Take care.